Welcome to SHAIL'S Kitchen, home of good food and good memories. You know, I love French cuisine and those 5 mother sauces that are so delicious and we always hear about. But I'm always very intimidated when I'm looking at the recipes, and because there are always these cautionary tales about how it's such a delicate process and sauces breaking, not being able to store it, and all these kinds of things, and reheating it as well. So I decided to take up this challenge and grab the bull by the horns and see if I could come up with a user-friendly recipe for Bearnaise sauce and I found that I tested it and I can store it in my refrigerator, very cold refrigerator, for 2 to 3 days, and also reheat it without any side effects. So let's get started. For this recipe, we're going to need fresh tarragon, shallots, unsalted butter. I like to use unsalted sweet cream butter, egg yolks, kosher salt, coarse ground black pepper, tarragon vinegar, rice vinegar, and some white wine. So let me show you an easy way to separate your egg yolks from the egg whites. Just tap your egg on the edge of the bowl and then crack it open, and then what you're going to do is just transfer your egg yolk from one half of the shell to the other, and see, there you have your egg yolk. It's all separated from the white. That's it. So here I've melted a couple tablespoons of butter on high heat. Then I'm going to turn that down to medium-high and add my shallots. Stir that around really good. You want to saute that a little bit. And then I'm going to add about 2/3 of my tarragon. And you see that I've chopped all of that up. So we're going to saute this for maybe 2 to 3 minutes. I want to get the shallots nice and softened and all those flavors in together. Now that the shallots have softened, I'm going to add my wine and rice vinegar and tarragon vinegar to the shallot mixture. I'm also going to add just a sprinkle of kosher salt and some coarse ground black pepper. Give that a nice stir. You want to make sure that all your flavors are incorporated. And we're going to let that cook down, and we want all those liquids to reduce until we have about 1/3 of what we have right now, or a little less. So you can see that most of our liquids have absorbed, and we have a really nice reduction with our shallot tarragon mixture. And at this point, we're going to turn the heat off, remove this from the heat, and just let it sit there while we prepare a couple other things. I'm just going to let it cool down a little bit. So I did have my egg yolks sitting in a cold refrigerator while I was doing the shallot tarragon reduction. And I have my cute little piggy whisk here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to whisk these egg yolks, not vigorously, just gently, because you want to just break up the egg yolks so that you have a really nice egg yolk mixture there. That's it. I added my shallot reduction to my egg yolks, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an immersion blender and I'm just going to blend this for a little bit. My butter did melt at 30 seconds, but I gave it an additional 30 seconds because I want it to be nice and hot when I add it to my other mixture, the egg yolks and the tarragon and shallots. Next, I'm going to take my butter, my melted butter, that's nice and hot, and I'm going to blend it in a slow stream into our mixture. Do it slowly so that everything gets incorporated really nicely and blended really nicely. The last thing I'm going to do is just add the rest of my tarragon that I reserved earlier on. I'm just going to stir that into my sauce. And there you have a beautiful and delicious Bearnaise sauce. I transferred my Bearnaise sauce to 2 jars, glass jars that have airtight covers, and I'm just going to let it cool down for another minute or so. It's still a little warm, and then I'm going to store it in my very cold refrigerator until I'm ready to use. I put it in these jars because then it'll be easy for me to just pour a little bit at a time that I need to reheat instead of reheating the whole batch. So I've found with my own experimentation that even my own microwave at home can fluctuate sometimes in terms of how long it takes to heat something up. So I think to be on the safe side, I would suggest reheating your Bearnaise sauce in 5-second increments and then check it, because one time I did it and in 5 seconds it was perfect. So do 5 seconds. If it looks like it needs to be a little bit more fluid consistency, then do it just a few more seconds, another 5 seconds, and then check it and it should be good. So I'm getting ready to have a little snack, and you're probably wondering what this is. So I'm going to tell you, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So this is what happens when you overheat your Bearnaise sauce. As you can see, it looks a little cooked, and that's because the eggs are cooked. And you're probably going to be tempted to throw this out, but I'm going to say, no, don't throw it out. Taste it, because it is delicious. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some on some toast. It's kind of like a spread, and you know what it tastes like? It tastes like a really gourmet deviled eggs filling or really gourmet egg salad. That's really good. So don't throw out, if you accidentally overheat your Bearnaise sauce, which I did, and I have the evidence to prove it, don't throw it out. You can still enjoy it because the eggs are cooked and it is delicious. This sauce is great. I have been trying it on a variety of meats, chicken, seafood, veggies. So some very important tips and points to remember as we recap on this recipe. Always store in a very cold refrigerator. Do not overheat when you're reheating it. Just a few seconds will do it. And also be sure to use all clean utensils and vessels, cups, knives, whatever you're using, to avoid contamination, because then remember that you're using raw eggs and you don't want them to spoil. So be very sure to not contaminate your sauce while you're making it and after it's made. And it's going to be delicious and you're going to really enjoy it. I hope you enjoy this user-friendly Bearnaise sauce recipe, which is absolutely delicious and is so versatile. And you can store it in your refrigerator, in a very cold refrigerator, for 2 up to 3 days even. I wouldn't go much beyond that. Try to use it up as soon as possible. And also it's very easy to reheat, just a few seconds at a time. Bring it back to the consistency nice and warm for you to use. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you'll get more tips and recipes and lots of great information for all you food lovers out there. Thank you for spending your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time on SHAIL'S Kitchen, home of good food and good memories.